The human brain is a complex organ that governs almost all aspects of our lives, from our thoughts and emotions to our movements and behaviors. The brain is responsible for processing and interpreting sensory information, controlling our movements, regulating our body functions, and enabling us to think, learn, and reason. Brain development begins in the womb and continues throughout childhood and adolescence. The early years of life are critical for brain development, as the brain undergoes rapid changes and forms critical neural connections that shape our lifelong cognitive and emotional abilities. During pregnancy, the brain begins to develop at an astonishing rate, with billions of neurons forming and migrating to their appropriate locations in the brain. By the end of the first trimester, the brain has formed the basic structure of the central nervous system, including the spinal cord and brainstem. During the second and third trimesters, the cerebral cortex, which is responsible for processing sensory information and controlling voluntary movements, begins to form. The cerebral cortex contains billions of neurons that form intricate networks of connections that allow us to think, reason, and learn. After birth, the brain continues to develop at a rapid pace, with the first few years of life being the most critical. During this time, the brain is highly responsive to environmental stimuli, and experiences during this period can have a profound impact on brain development. One of the most significant changes that occur during this period is the formation of synapses, which are the connections between neurons. Synapses form in response to experiences, and the more experiences a child has, the more synapses they form. These synapses are critical for learning and memory, and they enable the brain to adapt to new experiences and information. Another important aspect of brain development during this period is myelination. Myelin is a fatty substance that forms around nerve fibers and helps to speed up the transmission of electrical impulses. As the brain continues to develop, myelination occurs in a predictable pattern, with certain regions of the brain developing myelin at specific times. This process is essential for the efficient functioning of the brain. During adolescence, the brain undergoes another period of rapid development and change. The prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for decision-making, planning, and impulse control, continues to develop during this period. This area of the brain is thought to be particularly vulnerable to the effects of stress, substance abuse, and other environmental factors. Overall, brain development is a complex and dynamic process that is influenced by a wide range of factors, including genetics, environmental experiences, and social interactions. The early years of life are critical for brain development, and experiences during this period can have a profound impact on cognitive and emotional abilities throughout life. By understanding the processes that govern brain development, we can better understand how to support healthy brain development and promote positive outcomes.